And a revival of the Chola Empire's splendor is very much on the cards, with the Prime Minister headed to Tamil Nadu on the 27th of this month. Now, one of India's most read writers, Amish Tripathi, whose new book, The Chola Tigers, is out next month, joins me live at this time. Amish, good to have you. Thank you very much. Congratulations on your upcoming book. It's a bestseller already, I'm sure. Prime Minister Modi is headed to Tamil Nadu, as you know, Amish, to celebrate Rajendra Chola's birth anniversary. First off, do you see this as a turning point in some ways, where national recognition of the Chola Empire is finally getting its due spotlight?
Yeah, absolutely. Shiv, I'd actually studied in Tamil Nadu. In my younger days, I'd studied in Ooty, Lawrence School in Ooty. So I'd read the English translation of Ponniyin Selvan in the 1990s, before it was fashionable in North India. I think I can pronounce Tamil properly.
Yeah.
It's like for the Maharashtrians among you, it's like the Marathi Ida. So I have actually had the pleasure and the honor of living in Tamil Nadu and having friends there in my younger days, and I learned a lot. And I realized at that age itself that why was this not taught to us in our history books? And similarly, when I came to Maharashtra, the stories of Chhatrapati Shivaji in our national history books were just ignored. I mean, most scandalously, he was called a mountain rat. It's appalling that an Indian history book referred to Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj in this manner.
Incredible.
There needs to be a balance in our history books. More of the non-Delhi emperors need to be, and dynasties need to be covered. Rajendra Chola's empire was bigger than Akbar's. You won't know that if you read our history books, because he held sway over most of Southeast Asia as well. The Bay of Bengal was essentially Rajendra Chola's pond. We should know all this.
It's incredible. I mean, and this is one thing we have in common, by the way, Amish. I grew up in Chennai, Madras. I still call it Madras. I speak Tamil. And I know that it's pronounced Choras and not Cholas, as some people continue to pronounce it. So you and I know how it is. And I agree with you. You know, I grew up, I studied in Chennai. All my schooling was in Chennai. I had to leave Chennai to, finally learn about the splendor of the Cholas, which is an incredible shame. And this spotlight that's coming back hopefully will change some of that. Because despite the Cholas, Amish, being one of the most powerful dynasties in Indian history, their story is barely present in our school textbooks or national awareness. It continues to be a problem even now, even with the Cholas entering the so-called cinematic mainstream. Do you think India has failed in some ways to celebrate the Cholas the way, we do with the Mughals or even the Mauryas? And will your book, do you think, play its part in some ways to correct that imbalance?
Look, my book is a very, very small contribution to a culture that I admire and love. As you know, Ponniyin Selvan was the story of Rajendra Chola's father, the beloved of the Kaveri,
Yes.
Raj Chola. I had read his story, like I said, many years ago. And I think Rajendra Chola's story is not just about setting a balance in our historical books, in our history textbooks. Like I said, it's not just the South that was ignored. West, East, Central India, Raja Bhoj, everyone who did not conquer or rule the holy land of Lutyens, Delhi, was ignored in our history textbooks. It's very unfortunate. But what Rajendra Chola's empire shows us, because there's a deeper learning, it's not just his fantastic achievements. It is that the story of our culture, of our nation, of our civilization, it is not just invaders coming through the Khyber Pass and us being an agrarian society. We were actually the greatest seafaring civilizations, all the way from the Indus-Saraswati civilization times. We had massive trade surpluses for centuries with China, with the Roman Empire. That's why India has such huge hoards of gold and gold coins from Rome and various others. And Rajendra Chola's story, the story of the Kalingas, the story of the Marathas, of the Rashtrakutas, the Gurjar Pratiharas, all of this, the Ikshwakus of Andhra, they teach us these stories, this different version of India as compared to just the northwest. It's more specifically Delhi and northwest India that's covered, which is yes largely agrarian,
Yeah.
and yes largely they did suffer terrible invasions. In the last 1,000 years, that must be covered, but we must cover the others as well. And my book, the Chola Tigers, is a small attempt to set it right.
To set it right, and I'm sure it will, because this basically enters the consciousness of so many, and your book is out next month. You know, the Prime Minister, Amish, is headed to Tamil Nadu for the anniversary. Rajendra Chola, as you just mentioned, his incredible naval expansion, his expedition to Southeast Asia, is being honored and venerated as part of this anniversary. Tell us a little bit about your research, your understanding of it. Will your book also delve into how the Cholas built this incredible Pan-Asian influence long before, modern India's Act East policy?
So look, the Chola Tigers is actually is not based on the Southeast Asian invasion. Though I have another book in mind for that.
Yeah.
With Lord Shiva's blessings, we'll get down to that as well. This book is based on the fact that, as I'm sure you're aware, Rajendra Chola was and his father were both very very devout worshippers of Lord Shiva. In fact, there is you see that even in the temples that they built, they styled themselves as the servants of Lord Shiva. Very
Yeah.
few emperors actually showed themselves publicly as the servants of the god they worship. They were very devout. And my theory is that if Mahmud Ghazni attacked Somnath Ji, which was one of the greatest Lord Shiva temples, well, then the most powerful man on earth and a devout Lord Shiva worshipper will do something about it. And this book is about is about what Emperor Rajendra Chola ordered and what he got done to Mahmud Ghazni. It is when India struck back.
Yeah. No, I'm so happy you've just mentioned that with Lord Shiva's blessings, you will actually get into the project of writing about that Southeast Asian expedition, because in many ways, people's entry point, Amish, and I think you will agree with me, to the entire Chola sort of universe is that entire naval aspect, as seafarers and those who went out and spread their influence so far and wide. And there are manifestations of that influence that continue to be there in Southeast Asia even today. In some ways, we get a reminder also that some of these countries, Indonesia and others, Cambodia, they've got, respect and memory of the Cholas much more than we do.
Shiv, I had been to Bali, maybe a decade and a half ago.
Yeah.
And I met a local Bali person, and he'd actually told me with regret. He says, "We have kept your culture alive here far more than you have in your own country." He said he had gone to India and he wanted so desperately to see the land where they had got their culture from. And he says, "You guys have forgotten it, man." And it was, it hurt like a whiplash. But he was right.
Yeah.
There was a gentleman I'd met in Jakarta, a Muslim. And in fact, this is actually a line that's told very often in Indonesia. A minister had said this publicly as well. As you know, there are 99% Muslims, but their currency note has the image of Lord Ganesh. Their airline is called Garuda. And this guy quoted what a minister had said publicly, that we changed our religion, we didn't change our ancestors. And Southeast Asia actually teaches us in some ways how to keep how they've kept our legacy alive. Maybe we should step up too.
Hopefully we will. And the ironic thing, Amish, of course, is we've gone from, the Cholas not even existing in our kind of political conversation to now it being a kind of political football. I know you stay away from the political aspects of these things and you avoid them religiously. But, the Prime Minister is landing in Tamil Nadu at a time when the BJP and the DMK are both sort of competing to invoke the Chola legacy. You know, Modi through civilisational pride, the DMK through Tamil pride and local projects. Do you see this as a good thing? Because this is a kind of competitive race to invoke and stir up the entire legacy. Ultimately, it will mean more people actually know about it. Do you see it as a genuine revival of history? Or are the Cholas being reduced to, you know, political tools in today's sort of ideological wars?
I don't see it negatively. In fact, I'd written on the fact that I genuinely appreciate what Prime Minister Modi is doing to revive many of our civilizational memories. It's of course with Emperor Rajendra Chola, but also my family's roots are in UP. And what has been done at Kashi Vishwanath ji, trust me, you can't imagine how emotional it is for those of us who are from Varanasi.
Yeah.
My grandfather used to teach at BHU. He's a priest at Vishwanath ji. It's so emotional to see the temple have the grandeur and status that our Baba deserved, that Lord Shiva deserved. So it's wonderful what Prime Minister Modi is doing. He is reviving our national memory on Emperor Rajendra Chola, and I say that's a good thing. I also am very happy that Chief Minister Stalin is reviving the and propagating across India the memory of Rajendra Chola because it's sometimes I'd seen when I'd studied out there and even in Maharashtra that locals themselves did not realize that there are people in Maharashtra. I've seen a few, I'd seen in school who didn't realize just how important Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj was. Local Maharashtrians. Same in Tamil Nadu. When I was in school, local students admit it was a boarding school, but they didn't know as much about because when I read Ponniyin Selvan, I called them up, Hare, this is fascinating, and they didn't know as much. So even the locals, perhaps at the educated levels, they have forgotten things, and it's very good that the Honorable Prime Minister and the Honorable Chief Minister are working on this. Whatever their reasons be, the end result is good.
I agree, and the reason I ask that is because, in these sort of fierce political times, Tamil pride and national identity, Amish, are often seen at odds with each other. There's this language war that's going on. The BJP and the DMK are currently at it, but it could be really anyone. There's a war over historical narratives, which you've just touched upon. As per your understanding, and maybe even through your book, does your book in some ways address this tension as well, or do you prefer to keep the Cholas and their story above the present day resonances that we're seeing right now?
Let me answer this specifically from two approaches. One is my understanding from my research of Emperor Rajendra Chola. He had conquered up to, as I'm sure you're aware, up to Gangaji.
Yes.
Because he conquered the Pala Empire as well, which was essentially Bengal, what is today's Bangladesh, parts of Odisha, Bihar, etc. This was clearly a very emotional moment for him, because he took on a new title and he changed, and the name of his capital city was also updated to that. And that title was Gangai Konda, the bringer of the waters of Gangaji. Okay, it was clearly an emotional moment for him. He conquered many other territories. He didn't take on a new title. He didn't give that name to his capital city, but his capital city was Gangai Konda Cholapuram. Clearly, it was an emotional moment for him. What does that tell us? It tells us of the civilizational memory. So that's one thing. Secondly, from the modern day, look, I can respect my father, I can respect my mother, I can respect my grandparents, I can respect and love my elder sister and brother as well. Nothing is in competition with each other. So I have many Maharashtrian friends who are very proud of the Marathi language. That doesn't mean that they're anti-India. You can love both. You can love Marathi and you can love India. It's the same with Tamil pride and Indian pride as well. I don't see why we see it in competition with each other. Because that is actually a very Western paradigm, Western, Middle Eastern paradigm, that you have to love one thing and you have to hate everything else. That is not the Indian paradigm. I'm a very, very proud worshipper of Lord Shiva. But I respect and worship, and in my puja room at home, I have murtis of Lord Vishnu and his avatars as well. I have Mata as well. My wife is Jain, so we have Jinendra ji also in our puja room. My twin brother's wife, she's Christian. We celebrate Christian festivals as well, and his wife Donnie celebrates Hindu festivals too. Worships. So this is the Indian way. You don't have to love one and hate the other.
Yeah.
So very very pro Tamil pride and India pride. Very very pro Marathi pride and India pride. Very very pro Hindi pride and India pride. They're not in conflict.
They're not in
That's a very
conflict.
Western paradigm. It's a very Western paradigm.
I completely agree with you, and I'd love to end on that note because we're looking forward to the Prime Minister's visit and much more of the Cholas really in our national memory going forward and our consciousness going forward. Amish, always a pleasure. Thank you very much. All the best once again, and see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Veeravel, Vetrivel.
Thank you.